Hello, good morning. Now we start with laser, the interaction of light with matter. This is the new topic. Previously, we have completed the number of atoms in E1 and E2 energy levels, and the final result we have discussed that at room temperature N1 is equal to N2, and this is a limiting condition. Both these limiting cases indicates that as long as the medium is in thermal equilibrium, the population of higher energy level cannot exceed the population of the lower energy level. This was the very important factor. Now we start with the new article. The process of transfer of energy from atom to light is not possible from classical point of view. However, the possibility arises if the interaction of light with medium is considered from the point of view of the quantum mechanics. The transfer of energy from atom to light results in light amplification. A light amplification can be further converted into a source of light having superior characteristic compared to traditional light sources. A laser is a monochromatic coherent light source that depends on quantum process for its operation. It is therefore necessary to appreciate the quantum process involved in the development of the laser. The radiation incident on a material is viewed as a spectrum of photon, where each photon carries an energy E is equal to h nu. We assume that the two energy level of the atom in the material have an energy difference E2 minus E1 is equal to h nu. When photon travels through a medium, three different processes are likely to be occur. First is absorption, second is spontaneous emission, and third one is stimulated emission. Now we discuss about absorption, spontaneous emission, and stimulated emission. Now first case, what is absorption? Suppose an atom in the lowest energy level or lower energy level E1, a photon of energy h nu is equal to E2 minus E1 is incident on the atom. It imparts its energy to the atom and disappears. Then we say that the atom absorbs an incident photon. As a result of absorption of the adequate energy, the atom jumps to the excited state E2. Now see in the diagram, before atom is present in energy level E1 and incident photons having energy h nu is equal to E2 minus E1, then this photon is strike with this atom and complete energy is given to the atom and photon disappears. It means this atom has sufficient energy to transfer from E1 energy level to E2 energy level. So after getting the energy in second diagram, that is atom reaches to the E2 energy level. The transition is called the absorption transition. Now once again we can discuss. The atom absorbs an incident photon. As a result of absorption of the adequate energy, the atom jumps to the excited state E2. This transition is called absorption transition. It is also referred to as induced absorption. Now we can express A plus h nu is equal to A star, where A is the atom in the lower energy state and A star is the atom in the excited state or excited atom. In each absorption transition event, an atom is medium is excited and one photon is subtracted from the incident light beam, which results in attenuation of the light in the medium. If suppose 100 number of photons are passes to the material, then one photon is disappear or it gives energy to the atom. Means now 99 atoms or 99 photons are present after passing through the medium. It means there is a attenuation of light in the medium. The probability that an absorption transition occurs is proportional to the photon density rho nu. That is, P12 is proportional to rho nu. P12 means probability from energy level 1 to energy level 2, or P12 is equal to B12 rho nu, where B12 is the constant of proportionality. B12 is known as the Einstein coefficient for induced absorption, because this process is induced absorption. It indicates the probability of occurrence of an induced transition from level 1 to 2. B12 is a constant characteristic of the atom and represent the properties of the energy states E1 and E2. Now the number of atom per unit volume that undergoes absorption transition per second is called the rate of absorption transition, and it is denoted by R absorption is equal to minus dN1 by dt, where N1 is the population of atoms in energy level E1 and dN minus dN by dt represent the rate of decrease of population at lower energy level E1. The rate of absorption can also be represented by the rate of increase of the population at the upper energy level E2, as R absorption is equal to dN2 by dt. The number of absorption transition occurs in the materials at any instant will equal to the product of the number of atoms at the energy level E1 and the probability P12 for the absorption transition. Where the atoms are more at the lower energy level, then more atoms can jump into the excited state. Similarly, when more photons are incident on the assembly of the atom, then more atoms can get excited to the higher energy level. Then the rate of absorption transition is given by R absorption is equal to B12 rho nu N1. Now this is induced absorption involves the excitation of the atom to the fixed higher energy level. As a result of the absorption, N1 decreases and N2 increases. N1, it is the population of atoms in lower energy level, and N2 is the population of atom in E2 energy level. Now means N1 is decreases and N2 increases. But under normal condition, N2 cannot be greater than N1. Therefore, a light propagates through the medium, it gets absorbed. However, N2 can be made greater than N1 by using special techniques. Now, second one is spontaneous emission. Now, when an atom at lower energy level is excited to the higher energy level, it cannot stay in the excited state for a relatively larger time. The time is nearly 10 to the power minus a second, and after that the atom reverts to the lower energy state by releasing a photon of energy h nu, or difference between two energy levels, that is h nu, where h nu is equal to E2 minus E1. The emission of photon occurs on its own or and without any external impulse gives to the excited atom. Emission of a photon by an atom without any external impulse is called spontaneous emission. Now we can write A star gives A plus h nu, means A star is excited atom, and excited atom exert some external internal force and give out energy h nu and become in the lower energy state, that is A. Now in this diagram it is shown, in first case the atom is in the excited state at energy level E2, and without any external impulse the atom again come to the ground state by releasing the energy is equal to E2 minus E1 is equal to h nu. This is in diagram. Okay. Now the probability that the spontaneous emission or the probability of that the spontaneous transition occurs depends only on the properties of the energy states E1 or E2, and it is independent of photon density, because now it is the energy is transferred from E2 to E1 or higher energy state to the lower energy state, and so that's why number of photon doesn't matter. It equals to the lifetime of the energy level E2. Thus P21, now the transition is from 2 to 1. The P21 is spontaneous is equal to A21, where A21 is the constant and known as the Einstein coefficient of the spontaneous emission. A21 represents the probability of the spontaneous transition from the level 2 to 1, or A21 is the constant characteristic of the atom, or 1 upon A21 is the measure of the lifetime of the upper state against the spontaneous transition to the lower state. Therefore, the rate of spontaneous transition is given by R spontaneous is equal to A21 and 2. It is to be noted that the process of spontaneous emission is independent of the incident energy, as we discussed earlier. It follows from the quantum mechanical consideration that the spontaneous transition takes place from a given energy state to states lying lower in energy. Thus, the spontaneous transition is not possible from level 1 to level 2. Therefore, the probability of the spontaneous transition is from 1 to 2 is always 0. There is only possibility of spontaneous emission from higher energy level to the lower energy level, but not lower to higher. Now, there are some characteristics of the spontaneous emission. That is, the process of spontaneous emission is essentially probabilistic in nature and is not amenable for the control from outside. Okay, that is A12 is 0. Second one, the instant of transition, direction of propagation, the initial phase and the plane of polarization of each photons are all in random. The light resulting through this process is not a monochromatic light, as the different atoms in the source of emit photons in different direction. Light spreads in all direction around the source. The light intensity goes on decreasing rapidly with the distance from the source. Now next one is the light emitted through its this process is incoherent, as it results from the superposition of the wave trains of the random phases. The intensity is proportional to the number of radiating atoms. Thus, I total is equal to n into I, where n is the number of atoms and I is the intensity of the light emitted by one of atom. It is the process of the spontaneous emission that dominates in the conventional light sources. Okay. Now we start with stimulated emission tomorrow. Okay. Thank you very much.